Hey, what's up, guys? I just finished week 4 of block 1. As you have previously seen, things are going really well. I've obviously seen some great progression in, both RP and kind of, feeling, I guess, in terms of every single one of my lifts. Obviously, coming into this block of training, had a pretty long break, and then I was kind of deciding how to structure my training or my program, coming back from obviously my break, and deciding what I need to do and kind of structuring around when my competition will be. I looked it up, and the website it still hasn't been finished, so I contacted the person that kind of like takes care of my division or divisional area, so southeastern, and he sent me he was kind enough to send me the dates. So I'll be competing on the weekend of the 3rd or 4th of March. So it's either a Saturday or a Sunday. Let me check that. Yeah, it will be it'll be a Saturday the 4th of March. I think that's when the competition will be. I can structure my block around it, as I previously mentioned, because that's what he told me. He said that there would be an AMG annual, AGM. Is it AGM? Yes, annual general meeting to kind of decide the dates and raise some issues if they are in the federation or whatnot. So pretty excited because my blocks end up being working perfectly with the dates. So that will be fine. But obviously, I always make my training flexible so I can play around if things don't go the way that I have planned for them to go. So far so good. However, I kind of wanted to touch base and discuss about the RP that I previously mentioned, as in following the table. If it's an RP 6.5 or below, increased by 10 kilos. If it's an RP 7, increased by 7.5. If it's an RP 8, increased by 5. If it's an RP 9, increased by 2.5. It's an RP of 9 or above, as in 9.5 or 10, then keep it where it is, at least for now. That is only for assistant works as well, so not for the main movements. What I mean by that is the main movements I've decided to increase slowly and just consistently, whereas accessory movements I started very light, so I had way more room for improvement as I started with extremely low percentages, being around 50%. This week has been again very successful, really pleased, but I'm slowly reaching the higher RPs in terms of accessories. So in terms of my main movements, being the beltless low bar squat, beltless sumo deadlift, then singles bench, volume bench, and then volumes again, beltless sumo deadlift, and volume beltless low bar squats, and then the weak points as well with the pin squats and the partial deadlifts, also beltless, because that's what I've decided to do in this cycle. They've all been going really well. Some have lowered in RP, some have stayed the same, but nothing has increased, so things have been feeling very good. Especially this 3 sets of 6 at 120. I started at 112.5 on week 1. This felt better. This was an RP 8. I did manage to get an RP 7. I think at some point it must have been 117.5 maybe last week, because this still felt amazing, and I know that I won't have any issue working up to the final 3 6s at 127.5 in a couple weeks. At least I believe so, with how things have been looking. And this deadlift also dropped, and this has been below 6.5. But like I said, I'm just slowly increasing on the main ones. Even if the RP is very low, I won't be increasing any faster than that. So the last week of this block should be 150 for 3 sets of 6 beltless, and things are looking pretty good. So I think that will be happening very easily. So yeah, this is a perfect example here. The front squats. Obviously, that was the first movement. I reached an RP above 9, being 10 last week. So I decided to take this weight for a run again. Obviously, staying there and really focusing on the quads and pushing the weight, putting the weight, sorry, on my heels. And these felt a little better, so I said drop by maybe half an RP. I tend to run out of breath and get exhausted, so that's mainly how my RP goes up, because I wouldn't say these reps looks hard at all. So I'd say, yeah, I managed to drop it about half an RP. This is RP 9.5, so I'm still going to stay with this weight next week. You know, accessories are less important, so I like to stay safe and not fail at any time. So this is what it's going to be, 67.5 for 3 sets of 12. That's going to be the same next week. So what I meant by this is here, the stiff leg, I increased by a 7.5 from last week, and I hit a RP 9.5 here as well. So I've decided to keep this the same next week. So that's already 2 accessories out of, well, 6 lower body accessories, because I only do the high increments on the accessories for lower body, as the upper body accessories will remain the same in the next block. So that's why I've decided to just do a consistent slow increase as far as I can, whereas the lower body there's 2 more weeks, and then I will be transitioning to some new variations, which you will find out about very soon, and I'm pretty excited. So I'm just pushing this as far as I can, and I've definitely reached my limit for this. So we'll see if I'm able to drop the RP this week, but I'll stick to 3 sets of 12 at 107.5 on the stiff leg deadlift, because those were pretty challenging. So yeah, basically I wanted to cover the accessory lower, because obviously I've been increasing a lot and the things have been slowing down. So I reached an RP 9 for all the other ones being high bar, 3 sets accessory, conventional. Obviously the 2 you saw were 9.5, so I'm not increasing, and then the complexes on high bar and sumo as well. High bar and conventional again. I've reached RP 9 for all of these, so I will be hopefully increasing by 2.5 for the remaining 3 weeks, and this should be enough to set new maxes for all those movements. So that should be enough. But things are slowing down, and then you'll find out next week if I've reached 9.5 for one of the other lower body accessories. So in terms of upper body accessories, being the the board press, the pin press, the snatch grip rows, and the pen lay rows. Those are going to go up by 2.5 for the remaining weeks of the block, and then the next block as well. And hopefully I'll take them as far as I can. And all the singles and volume work for what I would say mimics the competition movements the closest, as I'm not wearing my knee sleeves and belt, will be going by 2.5 every week. But you've probably noticed that if you've been following, that some movement increase much faster than others, and that's just based on what percentage I started with. Obviously you started much heavier with the main movements, and then much lighter with the accessories to have the room to kind of play around and figure it out. So yeah, this is week 4 that you're watching. So I have 3 more weeks, and then after those 3 weeks, the next block I will be putting the belt back on and the knee sleeves. So excited to see how strong I feel when I put those back on, especially in terms of the competition movement. So when I'm back to low bar singles and low bar volume with the belt, and then same for the deadlift as the bench. There's no change. I'm already using the wrist reps, and I don't really use a belt on it. I'm excited to see how good it feels. Yeah, the plan, like I said, is to finish on 127.5 lower bar squat, 3 sets of 6, and 150 deadlift for 3 sets of 6. So then when I'll pop the belt, I think those will feel even easier. So it should be really interesting to see how everything feels when the equipment goes back on. That makes sense. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I was really happy. Some days were tougher than others, but I'm really happy with how minimal the form breakdown is because things are starting to get a little tough, especially on 3 sets of 12, you know, with exhaustion and everything. But like for example, this one's just looking still really good, still looking really good, so I'm happy about it. And I'm excited to push through the remaining of the block and then finally get a break. Change the accessories, drop them back down in volume. Obviously, there are new things that I've never tried, so it's exciting as well. And kind of continue pushing with the main movements, but with the competition style with the belt and then knee sleeves back on. Well, belt for the deadlift and belt and knee sleeves for the squats. So really excited. I'm hoping to get some big volume PRs at the end of the second block. Because in terms of singles, I think I'm working up to 4 singles at 160 for the squat, 4 singles at 185 for the deadlift, and then hopefully 4 singles at 110 for the bench. So those are numbers that like I don't want to like be sure that I'm gonna get. As in, I really believe I can, but I can't know yet. It's a little too early, but I think I can. So we'll just see. So that's pretty much for this week. Obviously, I always run out of time to talk because I could just go on about forever about how things failed, the RP, the progression, and whatnot. So obviously, I'll just continue as I always do in the next video. Thank you for watching. I'll let you enjoy the final bit of the footage. Those brutal conventional complex, but I can definitely say that everything has been paying off. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.